All right, so we're here again at AAMI Exchange doing the live stream. Thanks again to GE for sponsoring this activity, and I'm here with Danielle McGeary.
Hi, everyone. It's
the
great to be
VP
back and in the studio again.
Here we are. We missed you last year. You were very busy doing something very important on maternity leave, but now you're back, so that's wonderful. And we have again Janet Prust, chairperson of the AAMI board. Hi,
Hello,
Janet.
Robert.
Thank you for being patient while we got this up and running.
No problem. Thanks for inviting me back to the AAMI studio.
Yeah, of course. And Pamela Arora, CEO of AAMI. Hello, Pamela.
Hello. Always a pleasure to be here with you.
It's always good. So we're in Phoenix. It's about 115 degrees, and but everybody seems to be having a good time so far. We had the golf tournament today, had technical training today. The HTM course was packed. So lots of fun stuff already going on. But Pamela, this is your, which year as CEO? This is your...
I'm in my third
year, so is this
but
your...
third exchange.
Third exchange, okay.
Yeah,
So what
as CEO.
What are you most, you were on the board for that, so what are you most excited about this
I
week?
would say we're trying something new with Father's Day and bring the your child to the expo floor.
Yeah.
I know so many parents have wanted to be able to share their profession, and it's a wonderful opportunity to do that. So I'm excited about that because it's a first.
Yeah.
But certainly the speakers, the reception, so much fun to see everybody, reunions, it's wonderful. But adding those kiddos to the mix, it's a whole different game.
Yeah, it'll be pretty cool. And we're doing, and this is important to talk about because for folks that are in the Phoenix area, they can actually still come and register, right?
Yes.
They can still come down even if
It's not too late.
even if they only do an Expo only pass. So Danielle, say a little bit about what we're doing with the kiddos. There's some special activities.
Absolutely. So I'm super excited about this as well. As a special Father's Day offering, we're allowing everyone to bring their kids ages 6 and over on Sunday onto the vendor floor. And there will be ice cream on the vendor floor for everyone. But what's even more cool is that we're going to have two of the HTM esteemed children's authors, Chase Torres, who wrote Ollie the Biomed, that's named after his son. And he will be here signing his book. So if you don't have a book, we're giving them out for free. If you do have a book, bring it and he'll sign it. And we also have Jennifer Chester, who is the author of Bella's Big Fix. So it's a female in HTM children's book, and she'll be handing out free coloring books to everyone. So come on down, and even if you don't bring your kids, come get a free book or a free coloring book to bring home and share, our great occupation with the next generation.
See, that reminds me of Hollywood. There's no movies about some subject forever. And then all of a sudden they make 2 movies at the same time. So we go from no children's books about HTM to now we have 2.
And it's so great. We're going to have them on the show over the weekend. And, what I really love is, people often come to us with problems, right? And they look for us to solve them. But these 2, they saw a need. They saw this gap, right, that there was no offering for children. And they just wrote their own book. They took the effort. They truly are leaders. And we're so happy to support them here at AAMI.
Pretty cool, pretty cool. So Janet, this is your last hurrah as chairperson. You will soon become the immediate past chair.
Well, yes.
So what was the most exciting thing or thing that you're happiest about over your tenure as chair? What do you look back on fondly?
It's just the experience and the ability to contribute to AAMI and participate at a board level where we have discussions about strategic plans and what's going to be important, what's the future direction. And I think that those activities were the things that were most, enjoyable, to be able to think about what could be. And then as a board member to see it actually come to fruition, I think is really the piece that I've enjoyed the most.
Yep.
And hopefully have contributed to in a meaningful way. And
Absolutely.
But still, time to pass on that baton.
That's right. And you're not going anywhere. You get to be immediate past chair.
Immediate past chair, yes.
For 2 years, right? Is that how that works?
That's how that works until then that term ends.
Yeah, and then we'll figure something out.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. But we might talk about some other things you're doing here in a minute.
There's other things I do with AAMI besides
you might
just the
stay a
board
little
work.
busy. So,
Yeah.
All right. So, a question for all 3 of you then. Anybody can jump in. We'll take this in order. What's the most exciting thing that's going to happen in HTM over the next 5 years?
I'll offer that we also have a keynote on this topic, but the hospital and healthcare without walls, where you're really having the shift from having to be at the location of care delivery to where you live, learn, work, and play. And that is a big game shifter. But when you think about the support that's required for that, it really is a very different model, because you have very sophisticated equipment, and now you have patient families that are actually manning that equipment, and you need to make sure it's reliable and the repairs happen when they need to. But we have a keynote, and it'll be very exciting, where we'll talk to organizations that are already deploying those types of models with success now. So very exciting.
It's going to be riveting. I just think of those real life scenarios and the vendors and the folks that are supporting this to really come together and just share with the greater community, best practices, because I think, we're really at the precipice of this technological transformation, right? And it changes the customer for HTM. So, if HTM professionals aren't thinking about this, they should, because it's going to affect us all, whether you're a patient or you're on the servicing side. And I just think this keynote is going to be so riveting, and I can't wait to hear it.
It's only going to amp up more, too, when you layer on generative AI and AI solutions in these kind of environments, because it's so complex. Making sure that you can make everything work safely is going to present very, let's just say, very large challenges, but tremendous opportunity.
Right.
Agreed. When you implement new medical devices or any kind of technology, right, that technology does one thing. It's the people and the process that make it work. And I think that's really where we come in.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Janet, you've got a little broader perspective than just HTM. What do you think is the biggest change coming in medical devices, healthcare delivery in the next 5 years?
Well, in addition to the AI that you talked about, that's going to be integrated in so many aspects, if not nearly all aspects of medical devices. My background was really in a corporate environment, and the biggest change that we're really focused on is combination products, that can treat diseases, chronic diseases, in a way that was never before. So I've been very active in AAMI standards, and it's as big of an area of focus for us is to make sure that we put the right types of standards in place, so that total product life cycle, we're understanding throughout that entire process where standards fit in, how you design your product, and after it's launched, the post-market aspect of it that includes the servicing of it and the end of the life cycle. So I think that's another area that where AAMI is very involved in, certainly from a standards perspective, but it will change not only how the kind of healthcare that we get as patients, but also the market in general. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah, so okay, I'll give mine now since everyone asked.
Robert?
AI-enabled neural linking, right?
Is that going to help?
It's happened already.
It started,
It's happened,
right? But I mean,
yeah.
I tell my kids that,
paralysis
I
patients,
remember some stuff related to, the first time I saw a real browser as opposed to, not a browser, the old web, and things like the beta of Google before it went out to the public, or the beta YouTube or something.
With your dial-up internet?
My modem. I was a little kid hacker. I had little headphones like this, and I listened to rock and roll music and hack on my, VIC 20 or whatever I had back then. So, but I tell my kids, the thing you're going to remember is the day you first saw someone with artificial eyes.
And when do you predict that's going to be, Robert? Looking into your crystal ball.
15 years, probably.
Think we'll see it in our lifetime?
Oh, well,
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, I'm not living too healthy. They may be my eyes at this rate. Everything else is going to be artificial. So, no, it's going to be exciting, and we're right at the middle of it, so it's just fantastic. And, of course, what's going to drive that is cutting-edge research, right? So that's going to transition us now. See how I did that? To some other work that you're going to be doing. So, Pamela, any last words? And then we're going to release you to go.
All I'm going to ask is that people have a wonderful time, and if you're not able to be here in person, be looking online, and we'll be sharing along the way.
That's a good point to bring up. We're doing this now just to kind of get people knowing what's coming, but we've got the live stream tomorrow and Sunday, and we're going to have lots of really cool guests. We're going to have folks on the Expo floor visiting the booths. If you can't be here, they'll visit the booths for you and show you what these people are bringing. So
Absolutely.
it's going to be very cool.
Sharing the fun, whether
That's
you
it.
can be here
That's
or
it.
not.
And you're
Yes.
kicking us off on the main stage tomorrow. It's a big-
Absolutely. I'm
big
looking
keynote.
forward to it.
And we've got
And Robert and I will be here together streaming live all weekend. So
That's
if
it.
you like us, tune back in on Saturday and Sunday.
even well, if you
Even if
like
you don't, even if
yeah.
you don't.
Yeah,
If
even
you
if you
like
don't, still
Danielle,
listen
come
to
back.
us.
You don't have to like me. So, all right,
Yeah,
Pamela,
thank you.
go do your thing. Thank you very much. And with that, I'm going to bring in another special guest. Ralph, where are you? Here he comes.
You're coming.
Doo, doo, doo. Oh, look, water. Thank you, Peyton. Water flying in.
Thank you so much.
I love it. Ralph, welcome.
Thank you, thank you. Happy to be here in the big room.
The big room.
Well, we're honored to
Yeah.
have you, Ralph. You're
Yeah,
a guest of
this
honor
is a-
today.
This is a first for me.
You've never been
We
in
haven't
here?
had you in the
You've
studio
never been
Yeah,
on
no.
studio? Holy cow.
I've looked at so many people, that I know,
Just
friends,
wishing-
colleagues, and just
wishing.
wishing that I would be asked.
Well, this is your big moment.
It's my big moment. Delighted to be here.
Now, you've never done it at the AAMI studio?
Well, no,
That one, just not
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Just
not in
live
the
stream.
Just
fishbowl.
not in the fishbowl.
Yeah. All right. Well, since we haven't done this before, tell people
Yeah.
who you are a little
Yeah, well, sure. My name's Ralph Basile. My day job, my title is corporate standards executive.
Easy for you to say.
I made it up, and I still can't ever remember what
It is a mouthful.
They couldn't figure out what to call me. But I'm with Healthmark Industries, which we were recently acquired by getting us, or we're getting a company. I've been involved with AAMI for over 20 years. I've worked with this lady for so many times on so many different projects within the sterilization standards community. I used to do a lot of different things at Healthmark, but now I'm strictly focused on standards, and then now the AAMI Foundation. So,
All right. So there's our segue.
Did a great
Perfect.
transition.
So we're going to talk about the AAMI Foundation. So newsflash for those of you watching, there is an AAMI Foundation. And we talked a little bit about that in the board meeting today, and that's something we're going to address, that not everyone knows there's an AAMI Foundation, but there is. And so maybe, Janet, tell us what the AAMI Foundation is.
So the AAMI Foundation has been in existence for actually a couple of decades, and it's been very successful in awarding scholarships to students, awards, or what we're now calling honor awards for people who have really made significant contributions to AAMI. And then also more recently, the AAMI Foundation funds research. So it is a part of AAMI. It's not separate, but it is a part of AAMI. And Ralph and I now are going to be working together to help support the AAMI Foundation and make it so that more people are benefiting from it, receiving the kinds of funding and things that AAMI Foundation has available. And also at this conference and other venues, just to have people know about it. The biggest challenge that we have, I think, is that people don't know that AAMI has a foundation, and that the foundation has funds to be able to help support some really important initiatives to help fund the future.
Yeah. No.
Yep.
So the tagline, give me the tagline again.
Ralph?
It's
fund the future of HTM.
fund the future.
I love that.
We want people to do that. And you spend a ton of your time on the future of HTM, right?
I do.
Danielle
Definitely a
does it.
passion of mine.
Danielle is one of our
so.
go-to people, right, to help
That's
us
right.
with,
So you're
with
going to be
the
out
market.
on the tip of
yeah.
the spear on this too. So
Yep.
and our three verbs, our three actions are,
Yeah, we got scholarship,
or nouns.
scholarship, research, and
Honors.
honors.
Okay, got it. Got it. So let's focus on the research for a minute, or let's talk more broadly. So if folks do want to support the future of HTM, and it's not just HTM in this setting. We're in obviously at AAMI Exchange, an HTM environment, but we have our sterilization community. We have our manufacturing and regulatory community. So the foundation supports all those, right?
And research, right?
And research across,
academic
yeah.
research is a
Yeah, so
key
talk
area
about that.
for
If some
us.
people want to support, are they given money just generally? Are there specific funds,
So, well,
activities?
we do have specific research funds. So we have the Logan Fund, which is named for Mary Logan, who was the president and CEO of AAMI for a number of years, and that funds a lot of different projects. I mean, one of them I'll just mention. Last year, we awarded to ECRI, which they're doing a study into PPE, protective attire, and particularly in the area of strike-through. And this is something I'm very familiar with PPE standards and test methods, and strike-through just when it comes to medical or healthcare, PPE, just is not covered, and yet it's very significant, particularly if you're working in an area like decontam,
Yep.
in other areas.
Sort of why they're wearing it, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
To protect them.
Protect them, yeah, so.
Works everywhere except where.
Yeah. So, it's really groundbreaking study from that standpoint. So we expect to see results from that sometime in October. But that's just one of the things that the research does. And then, of course, we're also the Kilmer Fund, which does a lot of fun things. Maybe you want to mention something that.
Yeah, so Kilmer Fund is focused specifically on sterility assurance and end-to-end sterilization, and it got started with a grant from J&J to the AAMI Foundation, and it's multifaceted. So it does fund research in that sterility assurance and then sterilization area, but there's also scholarships that are available, and now AAMI is going to be hosting a conference, not through the foundation, but through AAMI proper of a Kilmer conference next year. So you have to be kind of careful with that word, because Kilmer now and AAMI means a lot of different things.
Yeah.
But specific for
Umbrella.
the foundation, it's the scholarships, and then it's funding research. And we're really looking at trying to identify specific research topics that people can apply for funding for, that fit in with where AAMI is, whether it could then eventually lead to a standard. Most of the research projects, the deliverable is a published paper, a peer-reviewed published paper afterwards, but looking to see really where are those gaps? Is there a gap in the standards area that needs research to be able to provide some guidance and some direction? Is there a significant gap like the strike-through issue, right? So those are the things we I think, approved yesterday. A project that is looking at, implants and kind of coatings on implants and how effective are they. So very interesting things that come through. But I'll put a little pitch out there where there's more funding available than the number of, applications that we get for research.
Right.
So
And I think that's huge, right?
Yeah.
Like, people need to apply. And, a few years ago, I was at an HTM conference, and someone came up to my table saying that they were doing, research and this and that. And I said, well, you should consider, the Mary Kay Logan grant. That would be great. So, fast forward to a couple years ago, we were at the president's reception, and this random person came up to me and said, I'm the recipient of the Mary Kay Logan grant this year,
very
and I
cool.
would have
Okay.
never known about it if you didn't tell me to apply. And I was
So
like,
not
oh
so
my-
random.
Yeah, so
There you go.
well, I didn't know who he was when I didn't, because you
He
meet so
seemed
many
like a
people
random
when you're out there, and you just don't realize the impact, but also the fact that people don't know about this. There's funds available, and we want to help.
Right, that's exactly right.
I forgot my prop.
how are you going to get that on your head? with your-
Like this.
Oh.
Very,
Oh, he's
all
got the
right.
Go ahead,
foundation
Ready. He's
hat.
ready.
Go ahead.
You didn't bring
There we
hats
go.
for all of us?
No, get your own hat.
So, no, to agree, I mean, Jan and I have been out talking to groups, and people that have been at AAMI for years, decades even, that don't even know the foundation exists. And I know I was talking to one group, and one of the gentlemen that was in the meeting said, "You're kidding," because we just funded amongst a few companies a study, right? And it's to benefit the industry, which is our goal. He says, "We could have run that through the foundation."
Right.
He said, "I didn't even know the foundation
Yeah.
existed." So,
Well-
Because AAMI's, that neutral party, right? It's different. The work that comes out of AAMI-funded research is different than necessarily in a corporate environment. Where
Right.
there tends to be that, advanced perceived bias. So the benefit is you can have funding for it, and it doesn't necessarily have to have that direct kind of corporate connection that
Right.
sometimes can affect how you get the document published, and really that bias issue. So
yeah.
When it really is
Yep.
all about the future. I mean, the research obviously is the cutting edge stuff that needs to be done that then can become standards
Yep.
or support standards development. With the scholarships, that's funding the future HTM.
Yeah, it's
development.
Well, the
Education.
scholarships.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should talk a little bit more about that, right?
Yeah,
Why do you want
talk
to tell
about
about
the
the scholarship
scholarships.
program? Because I feel like I don't know about you all, but my favorite part of this job is working with the students and helping
It's
to
not
really.
working with me?
Well, yeah, it's a close second.
So yeah, thanks for it. So there's the Miller Scholarship Fund, which is specifically for people pursuing careers in HTM and clinical engineering, and they're students at different points in their academic careers. But and those that win it get awarded that. It's $3,000 to use toward their education. So this year, I think it's a record. 16
amazing.
applicants are winners of it. And then the other cool thing that our former colleague colleague that we're trying to fill his shoes here, Steve Campbell, started a couple of years ago, was to pay for the travel expenses for the winners of the Miller Scholarship to come to the AAMI Foundation.
Right,
And
so
the
they get the
registration.
scholarship
Yeah.
and a
And the
trip
And,
here.
and
the
that's
registration,
so
yep.
important because, I feel like it wasn't long ago. I remember being in school and like you don't have the money to buy the plane flights or travel, and I think it's just such a nice touch to be able to cover their travel expenses to come and have them experience this, right? Because it's so much more than just getting an award. It's the networking. It's the, making them part of that AAMI community, and hopefully they come back.
Yep.
Right,
And as important as it is to students, it's also important to the exhibitors. And I've had a chance to talk to a number of the companies that are here and that are major exhibitors, and one of the reasons they support the foundation is because of a program like the Miller Fund, because they're trying to find the next generation of HTMs, right? And fill their
Agreed.
needs.
Absolutely. All right, so that's a perfect segue. It's almost
I thought it would
Glad he
be.
said
It's almost
that
like you
before he
planned
handed
it. So,
it to you.
so Mike, come on in here. We've got Mike Martin with us, Vice President at Crothall. Come on in, sir. Get those headphones on. I should have brought Mike a hat. You get your own hat, but I should have brought him one.
Come to the booth. We have one for
We're
you.
going to get you a hat, okay?
We'll mail you one if we don't have one.
We got him in the booth.
That's fine.
Can you hear us okay? Headphones working? All right, perfect. Give that mic a check real quick.
Test.
Perfect. All right, perfect. Well, first of all, welcome. And I want to thank you before we get into the foundation piece. You guys are a big part of AAMI Exchange every year. You've always been very, very supportive, so we appreciate that. And we also appreciate this year you're sponsoring our opening reception that's going on right now. So,
What a privilege cutting the ribbon earlier. That was quite
and it cut.
exciting.
It's a privilege
cut
for
the
us.
first time.
Yeah.
That's a miracle.
Absolutely.
So thank you for all the support.
And Crothall is also a huge is very active in our BMed apprenticeship too. And I know we'll talk to
that's right.
Cody about that on Sunday,
Yes.
but we are just so appreciative of all your support from every angle.
Well, AAMI is a great incubator for our program. It really provides a lot of talent for us that comes through your doors. I appreciate it.
Fantastic. Well, so all the things you do for AAMI, wonderful, but you also, Crothall, are a supporter of the AAMI Foundation. So say a
Yes.
little bit about that.
Well, we support the foundation. I think we find quickly that the values align with AAMI's values, the integrity of it, the innovation of it, the actual professionalism, and really making standards better, benchmarking better, making things better for the HTM community and environment. We like contributing, we like giving back. This is one of the ways we do it. I think we do it for the Miller Foundation. Looking forward to seeing some of the
Significantly,
recipients.
yes.
Some of the recipients tomorrow night at the ceremony. And, really looking forward to investing in that next generation of leaders. Very important for us.
Fantastic. So what do you think I'm going to pick your brain while you're here, and this is all off the cuff, so you can say no comment if you choose. But
There you go.
What are some of the biggest challenges you see for up-and-coming HTM providers funding the future? What are they going to be dealing with? What do you really hope they invest their time in skills-wise or...
That's a really good question. There's a lot of different perspectives. One that I kind of focus on is, we look at the technical aspect of it, and the technical challenges, they're going digital quicker than we can ever imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I think we can keep up with that. What I think we have to evolve with is how they do their job, how they communicate. That makes the difference. And we're finding that with some of the newest people we have are having the biggest impact based on how they've been able to talk to customers. And
soft skills.
Internally, absolutely.
It's so important.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I feel like, and I feel like that piece of the technician is the hardest part to train.
Yes.
I've had so many great technicians, but when it comes to like talking with the clinicians, they're like rude or off-putting, or they can't really translate that technical jargon into something that's very understandable. Because I always say like nurses didn't become nurses because they love technology, right? They want to help people. They almost see the device as like a hindrance at times.
Yes, we really want people that go after the problems,
Yes.
that find what's going on, that can be an extension of the customer staff.
Yep.
Very important. And to do that, you've got to be able to talk to them. Very important. And hear their needs, hear their problems from their perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and we've got a big, you mentioned the reception That's going. So that happens every year at Exchange now, right? One of you want to say a little bit about that?
Tomorrow afternoon, I think we start at 4:30. We're going to have like 2 pieces of it. The first is a
Pull that mic right up to you
the
there.
first
sir.
is a reception just for our donors, right?
Yeah,
So
4:15.
4:15, special recognition for our donors. Ralph will be presenting. I probably will be presenting a little bit too.
I split the
Yeah,
slides half and
okay.
half.
Thought he
You know.
said that. Thought he said that. And then we'll follow, and then we'll bring in all of the recipients of the scholarships and the awards that are here, and our research awards as well, plus our supporters, right? Just as important. And
Looking
that's
forward to it.
And that's a fun activity for not only the recipients, but also for our supporters who couldn't do it without you. And you want to, and everyone should have the opportunity to meet these,
Right,
you know,
it's really
young,
inspiring.
exciting-
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes,
they're
yes.
excited. They're excited to be here. You know, for the students, it's kind of one of the key things that's happened to them, a special event to win the award, win the scholarship, be invited to the premier conference, right, for HTM.
This award will be on their resume for their entire career.
Yeah.
It will. It really makes a
Right.
difference. And they're
really
such go-getters.
They are.
Yeah.
It does make me optimistic. They ask great questions
Yeah.
as a group of kids, very mature questions, you know, when we get to mix with them.
They're
you know.
smarter than we were at that
I
age.
think so.
I would
Yeah.
ask, and they're very well poised and prepared. I was talking to one of the recipients 2 years ago, and she pulled out a QR code and said, "Here's my resume and online file if
There's
you want to
that
look me
digital
up."
native,
And yeah, and I was like, "Wow!" Like I was very impressed that
I need a QR code. That's what
Yeah.
we all
Yeah,
need
All
our
right, we'll
own
get you
QR
set
code.
We all
up.
need
Yeah.
a
You
QR
can do
code.
that. Well, there. You know what? Speaking of QR codes, we've got an online donation system. There's going to be QR codes everywhere here
Great
for people
transition,
that.
huh?
Yeah, see how that
I
worked?
didn't even mean to do
It
that.
wasn't even planned. It wasn't even. Yeah. But so folks that are here can just hit those QR codes. Give. If somebody is watching us that's not here, how do folks find the giving page, if you will?
So I'll talk about here, and then maybe you, Ralph, you can pick up on. So we're doing something new at this exchange, and we are encouraging attendees to help fund the future of HTM and donate. It
Right.
can be as little as $5. It can be whatever you want, and anything up to $60, we're going to match at this conference. So if you donate $20, and you can do that any way you would like, we'll take a check. You can scan your QR code.
And
you
we've
can
even
take
got a cash
you've
box
got
There's a cash box there, but
You can pay $5 a month. You can do we're flexible, anything that you want. But it will be matched up to $60. And then if you donate during this conference, your name will go into a drawing, and we're giving away at the end of the conference a Remarkable. So one of the writable
little-
tablets.
yeah.
I want one of those.
Very
cool.
nice.
Yeah, I think I'm
Where are
gonna
these
include
QR
them.
codes?
So the QR codes will be at the AAMI booth. So within the
Okay.
AAMI booth, there's an AAMI Foundation area. Ralph or
Yep.
I will be there, or maybe both of us sometime. So stop on by. We'll talk a little bit more about the foundation. You can learn all of the different types of grants and honors awards and scholarships that are available. There's more than you know. There's quite a few that are available, and every year we don't even award all of them because we don't always have applicants to fill out all of the awards. So
We're gonna
stop by.
change
You
that.
have the
Yes.
opportunity to donate, but you also have the opportunity to understand and learn more about the foundation, and then share that with your network and with your colleagues, and help identify people that can benefit from the funding that is available through the AAMI Foundation.
Yeah.
Then do you want to
Yeah.
talk about online?
Yeah, sure. Well, if you go to AAMI.org, is probably the easiest way, and up at the top, then you'll see the AAMI Foundation. Click on that button, and then when you go to the AAMI Foundation page, one of the tabs is Donate, and it's very easy. Click on that, and then you have the option to donate
Okay.
any amount. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
And that's for individual donate. What if a company wants to donate?
So, great question. So, I mean, certainly, obviously, a company can do that
Like
as
cross-
well. But I mean, you can send me an email. It's Ralph or R Basile at AAMIFoundation.org. Is that going to show up on this?
We'll put
Okay.
We'll put it in the
we have the
comments.
technology.
We'll
Thank
put it in
you.
the comments. Page
So,
that out.
send me an
Page
email.
says yes.
So, yeah, for a company, you're going to want to be invoiced most likely, right? So, and that's what we'll do. Then,
Okay.
then the AAMI Foundation Accounting Department will just, whoever the contact is, will send, that you specify, will send an invoice, and,
Yeah.
yep.
And folks
And
can
no amount is
give
too
generally,
little,
they
right?
can-
No amount is too little. No,
No, that's true.
Yep.
Or too big.
Yep.
Or too big.
Or too big.
Or too big.
We do have, we've got different recognition levels too, so for 5,000 above, that's the patron level, and then from 1,000 to to about just less under 5,000 is the sponsor level, what we call, or is it the donor level?
Donor level.
And then under 1,000 is what we call the sponsor level. We are giving away
Supporter.
little pins or supporters,
little
sorry,
pins,
pins,
yeah.
which I will bring you a pin and a cap, just like Robert.
That is a nice cap.
Because you guys are deserve all of it. So so at any rate,
Okay.
yeah, it's very easy to contribute that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, fantastic. And so the ask is sort of multifaceted to folks that are listening. Send us make people aware of the opportunities that are available, whether those are scholarship applicants, whether they're folks looking for research, whatever it might be. So that's an ask, and the others help us fund.
Yeah, to
So-
pick up on that point, and Janet alluded to it, what we really want to do, I mean, obviously we want to raise funds, because as Pamela was just here, you always will say, no money, no mission, so,
Right.
but the fact of the matter is we think in terms of starting with what are the exciting things that we can fund, that we can make a change in the industry, whether it be research, whether it be scholarships, like for the Miller Scholarship and those kinds of things. That's really where we're starting, and we want input from the industry to help us identify maybe new areas that we
What
can
are those
support.
areas that
And I
need
think most importantly, it provides access, right? Access to education, access to research, things that people may not normally have access to without our help.
Yeah, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
All right. Well, we've got an opening reception to get to. And so thank you, Janet. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Ralph. Danielle. Thank you as always. I'll see you here again tomorrow.
Yes, we'll be back.
Only 9 hours of live streaming tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. We're not doing that.
all
much.
good.
We're not doing that. We're not doing that much. Thank you all. We really
Okay.
appreciate it.
Thank
Thanks
you.
again to
Thank you.
Brothel.
Robert.
Yeah,
Everything
Mike,
you guys do.
so
We
much.
really appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Be well.
Okay, all right, thank you.